Hello, I'm Mr. Eddie, President of America, and welcome to a new episode of Should I Tune In? I just got back from seeing Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and I didn't like it. The movie tried so hard to act grown up and to act serious, it came off like a teenager wearing his father's jacket pretending to be mature. Every bit of joy, every bit of humor, every scrap of color has been removed from this bloated mess of a movie to take it as far away from them kids' books what has them the pictures in it. Was it the worst thing I've ever seen? No, of course not. At best, I can say the movie was, It wasn't horrible, but it was far from good. That might be okay if it was another movie, but it's fucking Batman and fucking Superman. It should be a little bit better than, it was okay at best. So to get the bad taste of the movie out of my mouth, I'm here to talk about a time when Batman and Superman teamed up that wasn't a pretentious character misrepresenting mess. The 1997 Batman and Superman's World Finest. In 1997, Warner Brothers had two great DC superhero shows, The Adventures of Superman and the acclaimed Batman the Animated Series. Both of these shows were awesome, and let's face it, Batman the Animated Series is still probably one of the best representations of Batman media of all time. The animation on these shows were both fantastic, as well as the voice acting. Again, Batman the Animated Series using Kevin Conroy as Batman and Mark Hamill as the Joker is just iconic. You know, some people online fight and they have that discussion, who's the best Joker? Was it Jack Nicholson or Heath Ledger? My answer is always the same. Neither. The best Joker, in my opinion, was Mark Hamill. No one has captured the Joker's personality so perfectly before or since. So when you have two hit shows based on the two biggest superheroes of all time on the same network, done by the same company, it was only fitting that they eventually teamed them up together in a hit animated movie. Well, movie is in quotations. Alright, let's get the elephant in the room taken care of. On my last video, I called it the Batman and Superman movie. It's also known as World's Finest. In fact, look, the DVD even calls it a movie. But to be fair, it's only about an hour long, and that's hardly movie length, and there's a reason for that. It was actually never meant to be a movie. What it was a three-part episode of those TV shows, and they debuted back to back to back one Saturday morning that I actually still remember. I mean, they hyped this event up big. I mean, I even recorded it with a VHS tape. So, can you call a three-parter put together to take an hour-long special a movie? I don't know. But to help this review flow smoothly, I'm just going to call it a movie, because it's easier that way. I'll let the forced perspective guys argue the finer points of what makes a movie and the definition of that, because they're the awesome movie guys. I'm the wacky president guy who talks about food and cartoons. So look, I'm not going to talk about every little detail of the movie, but I'm going to have to go into spoilers a little bit. If that bothers you, just go check out the movie. It's like an hour long, and it's a really good one. So anyway, the movie starts off with the Joker stealing a giant piece of kryptonite from a Gotham antique shop. He does so he can leverage a deal with Lex Luthor.
Which brings me to my little proposition.
I'm listening.
Pay me $1 billion and I'll kill Superman.
Batman figures out what the Joker stole and decides to take a trip to Metropolis.
I can tell you why. Isn't Bruce Wayne about due for a trip to Metropolis?
Yes, but do you think this is an appropriate time?
I'd say the timing couldn't be better.
That line. I swear they only put that line in the movie so they could use it in every promo clip on the Kids WB. I'm dead serious. They use that clip all the time. Hey, do you think now's a good time for a new episode of the Animaniacs?
I'd say the timing couldn't be better.
How about if we return to Jackie Chan Adventures?
I'd say the timing couldn't be better.
Getting only a 30% review score at Rotten Tomatoes is now a good time to sell my shares of DC?
I'd say the timing couldn't be better.
Thanks for the advice, B-Man. So, during Batman's investigation, him and Superman have a bit of a scuffle. The only reason Batman is able to get away in one piece is because he had a piece of kryptonite with him. The best part about this scene is that it's done quickly. It's not dragged out because, logically, Batman couldn't survive a long drag-him-out fight with Superman, and it would make no sense. They're both heroes. Also, when the audience already knows that larger forces are at play, it would only drag the movie down by having a long plotting fight that means nothing. Oh, did I have the logo up for the new movie up this whole time? Wonder why I did that. So, Batman warns Supes that Joker is in possession of kryptonite.
The Joker has 20 pounds more where this came from.
And that's pretty much the premise of the whole movie. Joker's trying to kill Superman on Lex Luthor's behalf, with Batman trying to bring down the Joker. The plot is paced out well, and the Joker makes a really good attempt at Superman's life really early in the movie, and that's used as a stepping stone to make even better scenes later on. The whole thing is elegant in its simplicity. Batman's greatest villain is working with Superman's greatest villain, and the two heroes, while reluctant at first, have to work together to stop the threat. There's no god complex, There's no existential angst that has the emotional depth of a goth teenager. There's no dozen side plots and characters shoved in just so they can try to catch up with a rival comic book company who's already got a decade worth of world building. No, it's just a superhero team-up story with likable characters that act like the characters you know and love, and an exciting plot. And the exciting plot even has a nice side plot with Lois Lane hooking up with Bruce Wayne. And it works well. It adds nice character development for the characters without weighing the movie down, and it fits the role as the cool-down scenes between the high-action scenes well. This new movie never bothered to look up what the word pacing means. I'm not going to spoil it, but the animated movie builds up to a pretty good and exciting climax with both heroes getting a chance to shine. I think that's all the plot I want to give away, so let me tell you why I like this movie so much and what it does right. First of all, look at the animation. It was really good in the 90s, and it still looks good today. Oh no! Bright colors! DC doesn't allow those anymore! Red, green, yellow, orange, I remember all those! After sitting through 3 fucking hours of a movie with mud filters on, I forgot what colors actually looked like. Like I said in my last review, Batman works best in the shadows, while Superman is a hero of the light. And this movie captures that great. Contrast. How about that? But no, serious big boy movies can't have colors or contrast. In fact, what am I doing with my pictures here? There we go! Now I'll be taken seriously. Anyway, speaking of contrast, even the plot has some contrast to it. While the action is tight and well-paced, in between those action scenes are calm scenes with our heroes and their alternative personalities. The plot does feel heavy at times, but there's also humor mixed in to help pace the mood of the movie.
See that he's street pizza. In this town, some flying fool could have caught him.
Well, there's always the direct approach. You're learning.
Oh no! Humor! We're not allowed to have that anymore! I never understood why movies today shy away from using humor as a tension breaker. You know what, excuse me while I get up on my soapbox here. You see this more and more with action and horror movies. No jokes! This isn't a comedy, this am super serial movie! This notion is ridiculous. Humor humanizes characters. No matter how bad a situation is, human beings will still crack jokes because that's how we deal with situations like that. At least that's how many of us deal with those situations. Also, humor helps break up the tension. An audience cannot be kept at a tension level or an excitement level of 10 throughout the entire movie. You will burn out and you will lose interest. Humor helps the audience catch its breath. I'm not saying that you should do a whole stand-up routine, but a quick quip can go a long way to making your characters more likable and more relatable. So quite frankly, if you're actively removing any and all trace of humor from your movie because this movie's super serial, it just goes to show how little you know about how to make a realistic movie in the first place. Alright, put my soapbox away, and now let's move on with the review. So, Batman and Superman are great in this movie, but it's the Joker and Harley Quinn that steal the show. I said it before, but Mark Hamill as the Joker is fantastic. He's both humorous and terrifying at the same time. He's playing the wacky fool, but you know all the while he's still plotting to slip a knife between your ribs and he's going to laugh about it the entire time. And the Joker shines in this movie. He comes off as a threat in every scene he's in.
Holy guacamole. Looks like you need a new leader. I nominate me.
I second the nomination.
All opposed?
And you know what? He probably would have killed off Superman without Batman's interference. Although, to be fair, Batman probably would have been killed off by Lex's gadgets if Superman didn't interfere later in the movie, so they're even. But you know what? Even better than being even, they're comrades. And that's the final failing of the new movie. At no point do you feel like the heroes are even. You never feel like they're comrades, you never feel camaraderie, you never feel anything. Well, I think that's all I have to say about both these movies. I mean, I could gush more about my favorite moments of World's Finest, or I could rip apart some of the more head-scratching moments of Dawn of Justice. But I feel like I've made my point, and I don't want to ruin anyone's fun with spoilers for either movie. As for answering the age-old question, should I tune in? Yes, you should definitely check World's Finest out. It's a classic. Thanks as always for watching. Until next time, I'm Mr. Eddie, President of America, and maybe next time I can do one more Superman-related piece of reviewing. You know, just to complete the hat trick. I feel like the timing's right on that one.
I'd say the timing couldn't be better.
I love that clip. I'd never get old. Well, until next time, I'm Mr. Eddie, and on one final note, damn, Lex's bodyguard Mercy gets the crap kicked out of her in this movie.
I don't know any...
Hey, Clark. Do any of the women in your town wear anything longer than a tea towel for a skirt? I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just asking. Nope. Nice. Whitley,